Yes, Etsy family, I hope you guys are well. Guys, on this video, I'm going to very quickly explain to you a fantastic pricing strategy that you can implement right now and get those amazing passive income sales. Guys, my name's AJ and I do all things Etsy. I'll give you some fantastic tips, advice, how-tos, and how to get those amazing passive income sales today. So do check out my channel straight after this video. But as usual, if you love Etsy products, you love creating, researching, listing, and all of that mad crazy stuff, then please hit the like, subscribe, smash that notification bell, and please share, because that's what we do here. We're knowledge sharers. We share that knowledge. Anyways, check this out. So look at this. I'm on to, I just typed in clipper. This can apply to anything. Print on demand, digital products, any niche you're in. We're looking at purely a pricing strategy that works. Now, when I look at, I typed in bear clipper bundle, right? I went into something specific, right? Because I want to look at something specific and look at their pricing first of all. Now with anything, guys, please, we always do our research first. We don't just do guesswork. Like anybody that just kind of puts any kind of price to something, that's not how you do it. We have to gather many different strategies for you to win, to get those sales for your listing. There are many parts to this, moving parts, and you have to make sure that you do everything that you can to maximize on each part of the machine so that you can get the sales. So basically, let's have a look at this. I'm just looking at bear clipper bundles, and you can see they obviously do vary in terms of how many images there are, the types of images there are. Like I said, type in your niche and just go down the page and look at the pricing for something particular. Now, you can see that prices vary. Like you've got these Christmas bears that are, there's a bundle of these that are going for $5.45, right? You got these ones that are going for 23 PNG bears going for, $1.23. This one's going for $3.41. I mean, these are 23 PNGs and these are 25. So in terms of numbers, they're, I guess, similar amounts, right? But this is going for like more than like double. This is going for more than double this price, right? Which is crazy. So the pricing, there is no rule for pricing, okay? There is no rule for pricing. People are pricing at all kinds of numbers. Look at this one. This one you can see here is going for less than $1. And the one next to it is going for $4.38, right? So the pricing is all over the place. And you obviously need to have a strategy, especially when you're uploading your first listing, because that first sort of period is so crucial for the algorithm to decide whether your listing is something that they need to push up there, whether it is or it isn't. And sometimes if you don't do the right thing at the beginning and get the Etsy algorithm to favor you and push you in the right places, then to be honest with you, you're not going to get those sales. And then slowly that listing can die. So it's such a crucial thing that the pricing is done properly. Now, I'll be honest with you, there are many different, I guess, schools of thought for pricing and different strategies. And actually, I've used different strategies myself for pricing. But I'm gonna explain to you in this video today something that's simple, that has worked for me a lot of times, right? Has worked for me many a time. And it just seems to, it's my go-to pricing strategy. I would call it my go-to. But like I said, looking across these, there is no real rule, right? But you have to create an idea. You have to create the sort of rule for yourself. Now, a method that does work is that when you are creating your listing, what you do is, first of all, you scan the first, I would say first 1, 2, 3 pages. Okay. That's what I do. I scan the pages and then I try to look at ones that are very similar to mine. So similar in terms of, in this case, let's say these are bear clippers. Now remember, base it on your product, whether it be print on demand, whether it be mug print on demand, whether it be a wall art, whether it be tumblers. Actually do this. Type in the word in the search bar at the top in your niche that you're trying to bring a listing out, and go down to the products that are similar to yours. Now, try to go to a listing that is, very similar. Because obviously you can niche down, but just actually get into something that looks really similar. And hopefully you'll see a few that have similarities, right? And then what you do is you jot down on a piece of paper, write down all the prices that they've got, okay? Now then what you do after that is that you have to do your analytics. So what I would tend to do is I would start going into the ones that are fairly new. So then what I can do is, let's say I'm looking at the bundles for these clip arts, I'm going to use EVERBEE. So check out EVERBEE, my go-to SEO tool that I use all the time for research. It's just there right at the top of my description, and try it out for free. But what I then do is I go into each ones that I've written down. I would say maybe I would look at, say, 10 similar ones to the one listing that I want to do, right? And look at their prices. So write down their prices, right? And then what you want to do is you want to see how many sales, how much they've been making. So what I'll do is I'll go into the listing, and like I said, I'll do something called EVERBEE, and then EVERBEE is going to tell me how much these are making. So in this case, this is a 2-month-old listing making $721. Now that is very, very good. That is very, very good. So obviously something about this listing is allowing it to sell really well. So you can see $721. It's a 2-month-old listing, a fairly new listing, right? Now, I would personally probably go further. I would go and check and see how old the store is as well. If it's a young store, recent store, that's even better, because what you want to do is you want to see recent listings and look at their pricing. And then if they're making money quickly, even better, then they're doing something correct, and it's probably a good chance that the pricing is on point. Okay, the research is absolutely crucial in this case. Now, one thing you will see is that they put a 50% off sale, right? And I firmly believe if you're a new listing in particular, and you don't have that sort of and you don't have and you haven't built up that quality score, we call it, that quality score, which is from sales, reviews, and so on, and you don't have that yet, then obviously it's absolutely, and you know, to be honest, even people with quality score do percentages off, and I do believe it's a good strategy, but you definitely need to make sure that you have a good percentage off. So I definitely go with a 50 at least % off for sure, especially when a listing's coming out. But that's a side thing. Look at the pricing that is, right? So they've done a 50% off, and it's actually going for $8.78. It's a new listing, and they priced it at that, okay? Now, because it's a 2-month-old listing, they've already built up a bit of that quality score, right? So what I would do is, if it's a recent listing, right, so then I would look further. So I'm going to go to product analytics, and then I'm going to I would like to go to a 1-month-old listing in this niche, because a 1-month-old listing is going to be obviously closer to my listing coming out. Let's say I want to bring out a listing today. The best data I can find is something from the maximum of 1 month old, right? So I'm definitely going to filter this, and I'll go to a listing age of 1 month old. And then from these, I'm not going to look at the ones that are not making money. I'm going to look at the ones that are starting to make the cash, because obviously they're converting. And so what I'll do is I'll look at some of these. Look, there's a 1 month old listing. This one's a 1 month old listing, also making $263. Now, I'm going to click on that. There are many factors to do with this. This is 15 images. Now, obviously, like I said, you want to go to something that is similar. So even the amount of images, if possible. In this case, this is a 1 month old listing making $263. Pretty good. It's working, right? It is working. So let me just have a look at the price for this one, because this is the closest time to mine coming out. Now, look, again, look, 50% off sale. So remember, the sale is very crucial in this case. Now, I know you might say, yeah, but it depends on the design and so on. Yeah, it does. But obviously, we're talking about a similar niche. Now, this pricing is $2.71, right? And the 2 month old listing was about $8 something, right? That was the difference. But obviously, don't forget, the other one had a bigger bundle. So you kind of have to weigh these all up slightly. You have to write this down. How many, in this case I'm talking about, remember, you got to base it on your own niche. But let's say I'm doing it on this. I have to go to similar amount of images, a 1 month old listing, the sell that it is. Now, if I was to bring out a listing right now, I need to go cheaper than that. So I would personally I would put my listing cheaper than a 1 month old listing that's making money. That's what I would do. I would go less. Because think about this. Imagine somebody is already getting reviews. Now let's just have a look at this one. Let's just go down slightly. Okay, so yeah, this one's got 4 reviews already for this particular listing. They've got reviews. Let's say you're a new listing, you've got no reviews, you've got no quality score. You can't compete with this seller, even though it's a 1 month old listing. Because people are smart. They look down and they're ready to look at listing reviews. They want to know that there's a review. And this one, look, it's got 20 plus in a basket, 20 plus views. You wouldn't have that if you're a new listing. That's what I'm trying to say. So for you to compete, right, you need to go cheaper. And you may even need to have a more of a percentage off sale also. Now, some people say that, you know, it's like a race to the bottom, you know, everyone's going cheaper, cheaper, cheaper. And yeah, sometimes it does feel that way. But if you want to compete against other sellers, right? If you want to compete, you have to have your strategy. So my advice is this, and it works all the time, is if you go and check using something like EVERBEE, recent listings, right? Recent listings. Now, what's great about these recent listings that are 1 month old listings that are making money is that you can already get ideas to see what works. So even before you even design anything in the niche that you want to do your research, see what kind of designs that are being sold at 1 month old, because that is a really good indicator. And then also you can design something similar, obviously a little bit different in your own style, but you know, something that you know would probably most likely sell, right? And then what you do is you look at the competition, and you look at the ones that are selling at 1 month old listings that are making money, look at their sale price, and what you do, you make it a little bit cheaper because you don't have any reviews, you don't have any quality score. Now, the thing is, you can always change the price. So what you'll find is, once sellers get their reviews, once they start getting some momentum, once the Etsy algorithm, now remember the Etsy algorithm only cares about one thing, and that's selling. Now, all they care about is selling. So if yours has a good chance of selling, the algorithm is going to push your listing high. So I would say at the time that you put your listing up, right, there's a little boost that Etsy does because it's a new listing. So it's going to kind of try your listing out different places for those keywords. So what you do is you make your pricing really competitive and lower than the ones around you. Now, with a good sale. Now, once you start getting those sales, because what it is the Etsy algorithm is going to push you. And to be honest, look, customers also want a good deal. That's the truth. Now, I don't like the fact that, you know, there seems to be this race to the bottom sort of thing, where things are cheaper and cheaper. But look, there is a strategy in this, because once you get your reviews, once you start getting that momentum, once you start getting those sales, once you start climbing up the pages, you can then raise your price. And that's what I do. The price will go up. Once I get a certain amount of reviews, I'll put a price up a little bit. Once I get more reviews and more sales, I put it up even more. And to be honest with you, I might end up with a higher price later. And the thing is, you will make up those sales, that money later on. At the beginning, you may not be making much money, and that's true, but you will be benefiting from the sales and the reviews at the beginning. So I always believe if you can go below the competition, your design is, obviously you've done your research for your design, seeing what works, right? Firstly, do your science first. Don't do the design first. Science-based. Do your research. See what works. And then once you've designed it, you're getting ready to put your listing. Check out those 1 year old listings that are making money and go below them, because you can't compete with them yet. You're not ready. Once you start getting those sales and those reviews, then you start raising your price. You go higher, and that is the best strategy to do. Now, you have to also time it right to get those to raise your price, because sometimes if you do it prematurely and you raise it too quickly, then the Etsy algorithm is not going to favor you and you won't get those sales. So be patient. It's a long game, right? It's not a short-term game. Remember, Etsy is a long game. It's not a get-rich-quick scheme, right? You're building your, if you like, you're building your stock, right? You're building your real estate, right? Your store is your real estate, and your listings are part of your real estate. They're your properties. And if you make sure the foundations are right for your properties, then you're going to have a valuable property right there, a valuable listing. But remember, you have to make sure that you make sure they're cheap at the beginning, right? Lower than the competition. You can't compete with people with reviews and people that are selling. You just can't. You have to go below, because customers are canny. Customers are smart, and they're comparing all the time. And Etsy is also comparing all the time. And Etsy is also pushing the ones with the most, they are pushing the most likely ones that sell, because obviously they benefit from the ones that are selling. Okay. So that's the strategy. There's many different pricing strategies, but if you're starting out, then this is a simple strategy that does work. Okay. Go try it out. I'll see you on the next video.